go of everything.
Here at Small Miracles Garage, my name's Jake. We're working on a Yamaha Grizzly 125 or the Yamaha Breeze 125. So a lot of times the transmissions go out and you have to pull the entire motor out because the motor mounts hold the crankcase together. So you got to pull the whole motor out in order to get this case side off. There's no access panel and there's very, very little information online. So here, get a shot of this. This is what the other side of the case looks like in case you got to replace it. Anything inside there. This gear right here is your main output where your front sprocket is. Got it off to the side for now. After pulling the whole motor apart, you got to pull the cylinder off. That's in another video. Crack this case open. Now, the customer said that he thought he bent a shift fork because it would go into gear but then pop out again and grind a little bit. And I agreed with him. I thought, you know, maybe a shift fork isn't holding the gear in, it's popping out. This is the shift fork. This is your shift dog. Here's your fork. The fork is completely fine. The problem is this main input gear broke. So these three teeth, and when this one broke off, it got caught in these other gears here, and also took out, oh, not that one, the reverse, one of the teeth on the reverse gear. Right here, so you mashed it down. So I thought that it was also popping out of gear. It wasn't. What it was is these two gears were missing and the teeth were grinding. So if a customer comes to you and complains about that, that's probably what it is with these things. Seems like could be a shift fork, but this is the more likely outcome. And he didn't want to go any further because of the cost of parts and reassembly. So I don't blame him, honestly. So this is how it goes back together. You take this gear, let's move these broken teeth out of the way. That guy goes in like that, and this guy, see, small end goes in first, like yay, so that it meshes in with that drive gear, so that it can idle. And that one slides in there. Here's the tricky part. I'm not sure how you're going to be able to see. You want to get right up in here because this shift fork, here, we'll just pull this right back out. Should have explained this better. This shift fork goes right in this channel here. See, this comes out. So this shift fork will slide into that channel when we put it in there. So let's put that guy back in there. See how it meshes up with that drive gear right there? And you take your shift fork. Well, let's do this first. You get it into your dog in the right spot. There we go. I'm just going to let that guy sit there for a minute and put this in. You take this one and put this in here. Like, yeah. Now you have to make sure you see these positions. Here's your 3 gear positions. So you want to put those in there. Right here will be a check ball, which is this. I shouldn't call it a check ball. It's positioning ball. That comes in from the bottom. It'll come out right there. So what I like to do is get this started. So now watch it for a minute, it'll come right up here. You'll see it, and I'll back it down. This ball sits right, slippery little guy, sits right there, and then this is tightened up like this. This is also the drain plug for this side of the case. Let me flip that focus for a minute. Okay, I'm going to drop this down. Oop. Hopefully take that ball with it so it can sit into that recess right there on top of the spring so that it doesn't interfere when you put this in. Now when you put this in, see these little marks here? Hopefully I can get the camera to focus on this. Right here, you see these little dots on these teeth? These ones will go, see that dot on that one? They go in between there, that way you know that your shift lever is positioned correctly. Those dots are all important. So now I'm going to put this back in here how it goes with my positioning in there. Once that's in, you can tighten down your check ball a little bit, get a little friction there so you can tell where you're at. Right down here I'm tightening up this ball that we did earlier, just a minute ago. That spring pushes that ball up into there. See how it's, can you get in there and see that? I'll illuminate the situation. And I grab the crappiest one that won't stay. There, that'll work. So, here we go. I got the check ball, position ball down here, see? When I crank that up, when I spin this nut in, that ball will go up and provide resistance. So, this is important. So you see the two dots on here? There's a dot, there's a dot. That corresponds to the dot on this one. That dot meshes in there just like that. So we're going to put this in here now with the ball down so that I don't have to fight with it. And that goes in there, and then we will crank up this ball to provide a little bit of resistance so I can kind of tell where I'm at when I'm setting this. Now, I'm going to be directly in the way of the camera, methinks here, but put this in. I'm going to go over to this side a little bit and show this channel here. So this goes inside of that channel right there. That's the neutral. That's why you want to catch the center one, so that way you know that this is in the right position. So this should slide all the way in, just like so. And then the last piece of this here jigsaw puzzle goes in the last hole. You need to make sure that you line up those two pieces right there. So that, you put this back on. And you put your shifter lever back on. Let's get this tightened up too. Get that resistance there. There we go. That all fell into the right position. All right. Now, that'll be neutral. And you know it's neutral because your dog on your shift lever here is in the center and neither one of these are moving. And this main drive gear moves. See how it shifts that position? This thing's a pain in the ass. See how it moves that channel, and it'll slide the dog into this gear. So then when this main gear moves, this is the one providing. See, that other one back there is just idling and ain't actually doing nothing. And this connects with this gear to get your final output. This gear connects into this gear to get your final output. Alright, well, hopefully that was informative. And, alright, that's it for today. Yeah, see, this doesn't go back together very well when you don't do it right. Alright, that's it, guys. I'm closing this old girl back up. And, I'm gonna go home. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well. Son of a bitch. I don't have the rubber mallet out here, whatever. Back together, down to the dowel pins. That'll go. Just getting this bearing back in here is not going to be fun. I may have to use the puller tool to pull that back onto there. But the transmission is back together. All right. There you go.